Alright, so this is Mike and talking to Dave in the first scene, which we actually shot before the middle scenes, like the Gasolina part, because it didn't make any sense without this, and this doesn't exactly make it sense anyways. But I was just like, got singing in the rain stuck in my head, so I decided to make Mike sing in the rain, and he gets punched. Just snap out of it.
Alright, go.
And then Wacky World was just like something we came up with because we couldn't really swear, but we already said hell anyways, but we're like, what's a good word to replace that? And then here's Mike clicking his feet because we're going to do something else. This is Mike jumping backwards to show Dave how the jumping backwards works, and Dave's retarded and never could figure it out, so we just did it without Dave knowing what was happening. And then second try gets it right, except for the goddamn car in the background, and you could see it driving backwards. Maybe it was reversing. And then Dave jumps out of the treehouse, first scene we did. Me doing the pimp walk, because Mike would do every other scene except would do a pimp walk, even the one where he drinks sperm coming up. Gasolina. But he wouldn't do a freaking pimp walk. And then here's Mike drinking. I didn't tell him to stop. I just let him see how far he'd go before I said it. And then, yeah, gross. And then Joe came at night, so we just filmed all his scenes and shoved them in there with the duro. Now, the first part where Mike falls over is alright, and he's got a creepy face. But then the second part, he's retarded and doesn't understand when people fall. Most people let their head hit the ground when they fall. And then Mike's laying there. And then I'm like, let's do some lip syncing now. So then they grab the camera and do the only lip syncing in the actual film.
I go.
And then I'm like, hey, let's put a match down his throat. Because we did it scene by scene, so we didn't know what scene was next at any time. Keep them on their toes, you know. So then here's Mike with sparklers behind his head. And by the way, that's the magic behind it, people. Sparklers behind his head. And then, well, Dave's just retarded and can't light matches if his life depended on it. So it takes him like 30,000 tries. And then he even makes like Tommy come down and like put his hands around it. Oh, Dave is like a tree killer with all those matches. He's seriously retarded. He just keeps on blowing through them like they're some metaphor you blow. And then yeah. So Dave's like, one more try, and he sucks it up again. Now here, watch Tommy. Tommy's gonna rock this joint. Now first time, that's just a practice round. See, he's like, it's just practice. And Mike wanted to do it, but he couldn't do it because he had to be laying there. And then Joe, check it out, or Tommy, check it out. He's got like 50,000 of them, like 3 at a time, and he lights it, and he's like, bazam. Ready? Bam. And this scene looks pretty cool because you can see the sparks and everything pretty nice. Except Dave is retarded and walks right into the sun, puts a shadow on him. So I'm like, get out of the way, Dave. And then it takes him a while to figure out that means to move. But he does eventually. And I keep filming. And then I think Tommy comes around and gets his shadow in it. But it doesn't matter because the sparks are already gone anyways. But yeah, we're just like, sparks are gone. Just kill it. We're done. We'll cut it. Now this scene, that's actually the bag to the sparklers. It just kind of looked like a condom, which is kind of weird. And then here's another part. Tommy's just saying watermelon over and over again because we didn't know what part of the scene it was. So yeah, that's why I had to like split it into 16 things in the final version so you couldn't see him saying watermelon. It's a bitchin' lawnmower. Look at it pimp. It's pimping. Dave's retarded, but it's pimping. Alright, here we go. I tried to be gay before every scene, by the way, which is why I say those weird things. And then, okay, I want you to try to go downstairs. And those are narrow stairs. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're like, I don't know if they're made for midgets or something, but they're narrow. And I gotta go down them with their camera. We get over here, we put a bottle rocket in his mouth. Although he wouldn't like hold it up, so it just, like fell over. And that's Sam's mad face, his inspiration.
Do it.
He woke up like a mo. That's Macaulay Culkin. No, just kidding, it was Dave. Alright, here we go. Mike deliberately wanted to jump over that table, and then he tries to be all badass, and oh damn, he slid and hit his knee pretty bad.
Hit it
Alright, here's my idea for the British scene. We're like, hey, why don't you guys run around? You know, this whole time you can hear Tom, like, bitching about it. Like, it's not gonna work. It doesn't look cool. It looks retarded. Is Mike supposed to be chasing him? I'm like, yes, just go, dude. It's gonna look awesome in fast motion. So they get up there, and then Dave's retarded and stops because he asked me a question. And then I'm just like, keep running, you dumbass.
Yes, confusion, what do you do?
Alright. Alright, one more lap. Alright, look at Dave go. Now, Tommy screws it up and hits the pole on his way down and falls over. And then Mike jumps on him almost, and it was all weird. Alright, but that's the end of that. Alright, look at Dave's face. Look at Dave's face. Alright. Yeah, that was my idea for Dave's face. Alright. Joe came at night, which is why it's dark all of a sudden. And he wasn't supposed to do that punch there, but whatever. I left it in because had 3 punches like in a movie where a thing explodes 10 times. That was water he spit out. Don't worry. We didn't actually punch him. Alright, he sucks. It falls in again and doesn't fall far enough. And even this time it doesn't fall far enough, so I just kind of like bumped the camera up at the bottom. Alright. So here's Joe. And he says some random sentence. I don't know why they thought that would make it easier to do, but he says a random sentence, which I later got to lip sync randomly. Mike was supposed to be singing there. See, we had no idea what part of the song we were at. Now here's Joe running over some logs to make it look like Mike. And then here's Joe, but he turned out like a ghost or something. Like, I don't know, he was really white. And we're like, dude, you're a rapper, not a white guy. Yeah. Now here's Tom says that you can smell the lights burning, and you totally see Joe smell when he says that. Ready? Oh, look at that. He just totally smelled. Alright, so here we go. This is the wrong part of the song, but I somehow got it to like lip sync with a different part of the song, so it worked out in the video. And then here's just top down. I don't know. It's kind of random. We're just like, I'll go up in the treehouse, and then you guys just walk below me. And then here comes Joe with his water. There he goes, keeping the grass green. Alright, so this is the ending of the movie. And keep in fact, before we shot this, we had no idea there was even going to be this ending. So it's lucky it's not as random as it should be. But yeah, so Mike, I didn't tell them what Mike was doing. I just said like Mike should be nodding and looking off in the like distance. And I didn't tell him that he would be like listening to Singing in the Rain again. So they had no idea what they were doing when they were filming it. And right there, that was Dave started talking before I even started recording, so I was yelling at him. But they didn't know what they were doing, so then I'm just like, just keep nodding, just keep nodding. And then finally, eventually, I did tell them what they were doing, and then Dave thought it was funny as hell. So I'm like, yeah. Alright, Mike is retarded at nodding. He's totally doing a push/sit-up. Alright, look at that. That's what happened when Mike fell in that last scene a while ago. Look at that. That's badass. Let's take one for the team. Alright. So anyways, this is the alternate ending, which we were going to have. It kind of sucked, but it's cool because we fixed it. And Dave like goes away and then clicks his heels for an unapparent reason. And then we were supposed to have another scene. I don't even remember what it was supposed to be, but Dave messes it up.
Alright, go.
Yeah, because
What the hell's wrong with you?
Mike says women have rights, which is totally like offensive to women, but he said it because he said imagine Jackie and Jessica saying it or something, and Dave was just cracking up. Look at him laughing like a little boy. And then he's being a total like narf or something, and he was like wouldn't let me start recording without like stopping and starting again. I'm just like, whatever. So we totally cut that entire ending and changed it to this.
Alright, go.
And yeah, so this is a totally different ending than what was planned, but it turned out working out awesome. So here's Mike getting up.
Alright.
And then he's like,
Gabe, you know musicals,
that was kind of gay.
Go.
This one's like a command. It's like a command.
Alright, just start walking.
And then, alright, this scene was pretty good, except right when Dave gets to the turnaround part, some little kid on like a scooter came down, like right behind me, and it was like with the scooter, and I'm just like, oh my god. So we filmed it again. And then we didn't really know what we were gonna do with this, but we had a vision, you know, a vision. So we're just like, Dave, click your heels, and then we'll do something later when we edit it. And that's when we paused it. No comment. No comment. No comments.